I saw a videotape of Donald Trump quoting Bible verses. See, in Second Corinthians chapter something. See, it says it's all right there, folks. It's all right there. Reverend Trump, yeah. it did. It did. It just don't look right. Yeah, that's like the Pope standing outside the bar and he's a bouncer. Yeah, but actually that's true though. Yeah, the current Pope of the Catholic Church, he used to be a bouncer. Before he became a priest, he was a bouncer. It's funny how we change through our lives. Look back in your life, in your past, and say to yourself, did you imagine yourself being where you are now? I mean, I do this to myself sometimes. I was thinking back to when I was 16 years old, a senior in high school, and I thought to myself, what am I going to do with my life? I want to be a rock star and typical teenage kind of thing. And of course, that didn't happen because the music business is really bad. Yeah, it's really a shady business. But anyway, other things happened in my life, and I just took the ball and started bouncing and ran with it and see where does this end? Yeah, where does this lead me to? And I went through several experiences in my life where I learned a lot of things, and some of these were difficult experiences, and I went through a lot of pain and a lot of tears, a lot of anger, a lot of fear, but just trying to make the best of it and learn from it and continue. And then I discovered something about emotional denial. And I realized that that's a good thing to know. It's okay if you have it. It doesn't make you a bad person. What makes you really amazing is when you see that you have one. That's a big step in the right direction. Because now you know that, and most likely that's the source of why a lot of things are going wrong. Because it's programmed, yeah, you programmed that into you from your experiences as a child. And sometimes we don't experience things that are very necessary in our development. And it's because of the way society is. It doesn't provide or it doesn't support healthy parenting. Western society does not support healthy parenting. And so a lot of us end up with these problems here, and it's in the emotional development area. And as soon as we can recognize that, that's really good, because now you know where to start healing, and things get better. Difficulties will still come because that is a part of life, but you're more prepared for it. You're better prepared for it. You can handle it in a more healthy way than you could in the past. So learning these things and see where it leads to, what kind of people it leads me to. And it's interesting. In my very young years, I've had experiences with religion, with Christianity. Because ever since I was a little kid, I was always into spiritual things. I always wanted to know what's out there in space. What's out there? You see a baby and you realize, oh, the baby comes from the mother. And then, of course, in time I realized, man and woman have sex and it's possible to have a baby. Then the baby comes out of the mom. But what happens when people die? Because, see, as a little boy, in my young years, it was still kind of a community-minded thinking society. So when there was a funeral, everybody went and supported the people. Yeah, and of course, everybody's related to each other, too. So I saw a lot of funerals, and one of the freakiest funerals I ever seen was when a kid died. A kid who was 2 years younger than me. Evidently, The story goes was that he was eating, and then right after eating, he went swimming and got a cramp way out there, and they couldn't get to him in time or whatever, or he was by himself, and they found him floating, and he drowned. That freaked me out. Yeah, wow, a kid died. And seeing this dead kid in a casket, then everybody goes to the cemetery and they bury him, and I'm going, huh. I know dead is dead, yeah. He's not breathing, obviously, so it don't matter. But I'm thinking to myself, okay, here's this kid. He's in a nice-looking coffin, and they put the coffin inside of a wooden box, and they put it in a hole in the ground, about 2 meters deep, and everybody's crying. I can understand. Yeah, they miss him. The mom misses him, of course. But what happens? Yeah, and then I was thinking to myself, why is this fancy container containing this body? Because I've seen dead animals on the side of the road, and I've seen that they've decayed over time. So I know that this probably happens to a human body too, that we must decay as well after we die. But why have a fancy coffin for this? Why is it necessary to have a fancy coffin? Because in a couple of years it's going to be a decayed body anyway. See what I mean? So I had questions like that, and I said, okay, that's okay, whatever. But what happens after that? What makes a body be alive? Yeah, the heart, the lungs, the brain. As I got older, you start learning all these things. And then I'm saying, okay, obviously, when the physical body is done or whatever, something happens to it, and then the person's dead. But what makes it move to begin with? What starts the brain? What starts the heart? What starts all these things in the body? They all connect to each other. We're wonderful creatures. If you ever see a documentary on the human body, you really should, because we're really wonderful creatures. But what makes this body move? What makes it have life? There has to be something to explain that, and religion did not do it for me. I was very inquisitive as a little kid, so I always wanted to know what happens when things like this. What is the purpose? 8 years old, I'm asking myself, what is the purpose? I don't know. Go back and play with my Hot Wheel cars. Goofy kid, yeah? Anyway, what's the most important thing is look at where you are now and make the best of it. It doesn't matter what you did before, and don't worry about what's coming because you don't know that. So you have your best chance at paying attention to what's happening right now. That means the most important moment is the present moment. Don't worry about, well, where did we come from? Or where do we go after this? Because you can spend days thinking like that. And all that time you could have been doing something else. You could have been helping somebody to make them feel good. You could have been doing something to make yourself feel good. So you're wasting time. That's why I said to myself, well, I'm going to go back to play with my Hot Wheels cars. See? I learned that as a child. Just pay attention to what's going on right now and enjoy that. So I went back to my Hot Wheel cars and continued playing with my cars. Stay in the present moment. I learned later that influences the future. So, and who? To read more about Lakota Star Knowledge spirituality, you can read my book called Wichocha Otechike. You can see the book cover on the right side of this screen. This book contains the information to what I talk about on my Lakota spirituality videos. To purchase this book, please click below where it says Show More. Clicking on that link will open up the description below, and there you will see a link called "To Purchase My Books." As you will see, it's an eBay link. Click on that eBay link, and there you will see the information to get this book. Lila Pila Mayelo. Thank you very much.